Welcome back to the No Name podcast, where we talk about everything on the spectrum. Joining with Johnny Tran
Kevin Tran.
and what are we talking about today, Kevin?
Today, let's talk about the value of having good friends and talk about fake friends and thoughts about that.
Yeah, let's do that. And just first off, just want to say thank you for listening. And if you're listening from Instagram or whatever, I don't know what I was gonna say. Never mind. Just thank you for listening.
And if you do want to keep up with some content, please do subscribe and follow the Facebook page. We now have a Facebook page, so you can find all full podcasts on Facebook or YouTube.
It's just not on SoundCloud.
It's not on SoundCloud.
Okay. Nobody listens on SoundCloud.
Yeah. So, real friends. I think the value of having real friends is very important. Because let's say you're in high school, freshman year, you don't have a clique, you don't have friends or people that you know and or like a friend circle.
Mm-hmm.
You tend to change yourself to fit in.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, who really knows themselves? Like, I didn't know myself as a freshman, so I was just going with the flow, you know.
Exactly.
like there are people that are super confident and know who they are from a very young age, but it's hard for somebody to know how to act, especially when you get thrown in a new environment like high school where there's a bunch of people that are older than you. Because I remember when Kayla, she's starting 6th grade now, and she's a pretty chill person. Kayla's my little sister. She's 11 years old. And during Meet the Teacher, she just went in and she was acting all different, you know. And she was just scared to do anything because she was scared that other people that she didn't know would judge her. And so you really don't know who you are at a young age. So I think you start trying to fit in. And is there something wrong with that, do you think? Or
I think because there was a saying, your vibe attracts your tribe.
mm-hmm.
So you can definitely get caught in the wrong circle of influence very easily if you have this weird vibe to you, not a weird vibe, like a bad vibe or something like that. You can get caught like a bad friend group and start, building bad habits off of that, and that can potentially ruin your life. But
yeah, or make it harder.
Yeah, I feel like staying true to yourself, you find people like-minded, and from there you can build good friendship off of that.
Yeah. Yep, definitely. I think staying true. The reason I'm so confused is because I'm trying to think back to when I was a freshman or a sophomore, even before then. Who did I identify with? Who was I hanging out with? I was hanging out with you,
The football guys.
and the football guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a very confusing identity because I played football freshman through junior year, and I was around them a lot. But it wasn't within the team there were people that were really close friends, like the jocks. And then there was, I think my freshman year, I would try to stick to them and try to be cool with them. And then later on, probably my sophomore and my junior year of football, I started to just stick to myself, because I realized that the people, the things that these people are saying are just
Whack.
super whack and really shallow.
Yeah.
And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna head out. And yeah, I never really vibe with them after that. That's one of the reasons why I quit. And then I also hung out with you. Did we even have fun when we were hanging out? We would just be goofy, right?
Yeah, I just mess around. I think early high school days, majority of us hanging out was just like on like YHF shoots.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's not like it's like a half hanging out, half getting stuff done. But like I think we just messed around a lot,
Right.
Omegle and stuff.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true.
Yeah,
I was very insecure during that time.
were you?
Yeah, I was like, I think you were the alpha, and so I would just like try to follow in like your lead because like you like knew what you were doing, you know. So I would just kind of like follow you and like whatever you would do, and I was very insecure because I didn't know how to like I wanted to be the like a leader. I wanted to initiate things and like make people laugh and just like be that guy, you know?
Yeah.
But I didn't know how to.
Uh huh.
And so I was very insecure and like didn't know how to act basically. Man, it was just a rough time.
I feel like early high school days is just a whack phase.
I mean, it's because like you're surrounding yourself with people and these other people, I feel like that like for me like like a lot of people are insecure and are very shy and still don't know like who they are, so everyone's just kind of everything's very shallow, you know? There's no vulnerability while it's like you are being vulnerable like just because you don't know a lot of people, but at the same time you're trying to block that vulnerability by faking or putting on a show of who you're not.
Yeah.
And so that's like a very confusing time for me. It was just like, am I a jock? Am I hanging? I also I hung out with like the Asian squad, you know? Like they're just, what would the Asian squad do? They would just like fuck around,
Play cards, do gangster shit.
do gangster shit, Asian gangbanging.
Asian gang banging.
Straight up. And then I would go on these YHF shoots, go home, play League of Legends, play CSGO. Like I was all over the place.
Yeah.
I was like, who the fuck am I?
I think to everyone that's watching that's going to high school or in high school, like freshman or sophomore year, I feel like we all went through a phase where it's like we didn't know who we were. We try to put on a fake face to fit in and not be judged because you fear judgment and you can't take criticism right at that age. And so I encourage everyone that's in that part of their life to really be yourself and stay humble and just find people that are like-minded so that you can build great friendship off of that. Because if you fake something and you want to be a gangbanger or deal with drugs and all that stuff, like that will affect your life for like forever.
Right. You start becoming what you surround yourself with.
Yeah, that's definitely true. Having a circle of influence definitely influences who you behave as and how you act. But just stay true to yourself and find who you are, and great friendship will be built off of that. I think I found my squad or like the boys. I think either sophomore or junior year. I remember I met Jax like in sophomore year, and we were like
In English?
In English, yeah. But like I always thought that he was like a weird guy, you know, like he always farted in class and shit, and like he played football, so he was like maybe like a part of like the jock kind of group because he's friends with them too.
Yeah.
But I think as I hung out with them more, I was like, dude's pretty cool. And then I think I've known Abby since like elementary school, but I really became friends with him I think junior year.
Geometry.
Geometry and algebra honors. I remember he dropped out of honors because he thought that I was fucking with him too much. But
Are you serious?
yeah, but turns out it was like I think he was just like it's too hard or something.
Oh, so he made you think that it was you?
Yeah, he was like, bro, it's like stop talking to me. I was like, bro, you're talking to me. What are you talking about? And I think
that's so funny.
Jax and I and Abdi went to go work out, and then you came in at a gym group.
Yeah,
and we all became like good friends.
Dude, y'all never invited me to anything.
No, okay. let me explain why. So you matured way before us.
Yeah.
So you were on that Gary V wave, and we were still on that Pornhub wave. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm still on the. I'm just kidding.
so my explanation from my point of view of why we didn't invite you to stuff is because difference of interest,
Yeah.
and you matured way before us. So we were still on that childish shit before we actually matured. You know what I'm saying? Like you were like
Yeah.
you were on your grind. You were like figuring out who you were. You matured,
Yeah.
and you were thinking about like career and stuff. And I was over here. We were just fucking around all the time.
Yeah, not to say like I didn't know how to take it in a good way. You know, I didn't know how to be okay with you guys not having the same like you guys would show your like what you guys liked, and then I didn't know how to take it, you know, because my mind was always in business and like somewhere else. I didn't know how to not judge you guys. So I was like in my head I was judging you guys. So the vibe you guys got was probably just like who does this fucker think he is? Like we're the same age and he thinks he's the shit already. Like what is he doing? And so I definitely fucked up there where I was being judgmental probably.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I also felt bad. I was like, well, I want to like have friends, you know?
Yeah.
And so I think slowly I don't know, like where do you think it like clicked? Like was it when did I improve or did you guys
we
mature?
we all matured. So
Okay.
we all faced the challenge of adulthood when everyone moved out for college, and things kind of like separated a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And from there we all, self grew and stuff, and everyone was
Yes.
working on themselves.
And then at a beat up, that was like the dynamic is changed.
Yeah, it changed. Like
It's like we're talking about real shit now.
mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
We evolved as a squad, you know what I'm saying? Back then we always used like some dumb shit all the time, like
Talk about pussy.
talk about
and
pussy,
nudes.
nudes, and,
Yeah.
and vape and stuff. And this is, like as time goes, we all find a level of like, I don't know what you call it, balance
Mhm.
of maturity and friendship. So when
Where-
we all
yeah.
separated, we grew a little bit as a person, came back together and shared interests, and that's when we were like, oh shit, we're growing up, things are changing, and we start clicking more because back then, me, Oddby, Jax, just we all went fucking racing or fucking like hanging out, doing some dumb shit, and you would be at home like grinding, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it was different, but now we're all grinding, we're all doing the same thing.
Right.
So yeah.
I was like, yeah, it got to a point where I was like, I'm not really interested in the same things that these guys are. And I had to accept the fact that, you guys weren't the friends that I wanted to be around, you know? Not that you guys weren't good people. It's just we had different interests. And I didn't know if you guys would change or not. So I just like kept my distance and like kept good like relationships with you guys because I was working on myself as well. But it got to a point where I was like, oh shit, like I'm realizing that everyone is on their own journey and it takes time for different people to reach different stages. And I can't just, and I got to let you guys like experience that for yourself and not just shove like my opinion down your throat to try to make you turn into what I want as a friend. 'Cause that's fucked up. And so that was a valuable lesson, is to just let your friends grow, let them grow. And if you're not at the same point, maybe it's the best decision to distance yourself. And it works the same way in a relationship as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like there's lots of benefits to having a smaller circle with us and stuff. Like nowadays, like I don't really hang out with anyone but except for you and the boys and stuff. That's pretty much it. Like there's definitely a benefit to that because everyone knows everyone already, like how they are, how they act, and what what they're going through most of the time.
Like, oh, within our friend group or
Yeah,
outside of it?
within our friend group.
Oh yeah.
So like
Yeah.
it's like we all click already.
If we're like real with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like if you have a bigger circle, like most of these high school kids, like they are on different pages and people talk behind their backs and it's shady and it's like fake friends and stuff. So segueing into fake friends, that's a negative part about life is fake friends. High school, middle school, like you go to like a high school dance and try to fit in because they're cool and you're not as cool, you know what I'm saying? So like it's like, why do you make fake friends and why is it such a big deal?
It's because you're insecure. You just want to fit in.
Exactly.
Ah, man. It's very hard because when you're actually going through it, all you want to do is fit in.
Yep.
All you want to do is fit in because it's like the most important thing in the world to you at that time.
Yeah.
Like the dance, like, oh shit, Johnny was dancing alone. He was looking so awkward alone. Yeah. Like he didn't have nobody to grind up. Okay. Like, okay. And so all you like, you want to fit in so badly to the point where you lose your own like way of thinking just so that you can be cool to be set of people, like this group of people that are also doing the same thing as you.
Yeah.
Like all they want to do is fit in as well. So
I think social media plays a big part in that.
Does
like,
it?
Like validation and proving something. Like people on social media like always only show the good side of things and show that they have money, they have materialistic things, they have friends and stuff, but they don't know like the bad stuff, like how you're at home and you feel insecure and you're crying because you don't have real friends and stuff. So it's like it's
that's deep.
It's deep, bro. Like social media and high school and that environment, you really, I think people try to prove a point that
it's not only high school, like it goes on.
Bigger world too.
It goes back to everyone's on their own journey.
Mm-hmm.
It just, oh man, it's very, very hard. Like how can we, what is something that we can tell the people listening to this, if they are going through this, if they're not, if you guys are vibing with us and like yes, that is exactly what I've been through. What do you think is some good, solid advice for people that are going through what we're talking about?
I think developing a trait of not giving a fuck.
Not giving a fuck.
Yeah, just like not caring what people think about you, and you doing you. Cause through that, like if you always care about what people think about you, you try to cater your personality to them.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just thinking, like I had that mentality for a while, and it was like I kind of became a rock where I didn't want to be vulnerable because I was just so okay with being myself that I never opened up to other people. It was around that time where you guys were getting distant and I was just like, I gotta like be okay for myself, you know? And so I just didn't give a fuck. I showed you guys the side of me without having to conform to whatever you guys were interested in. And it was a little sad because I wasn't expressing myself anymore. So there's a line. There's like a good way of doing it, and then there's a bad way of doing it. And I think the healthy way is to like. Do you think the good way is to not care? Because I feel like when people say I don't care and I don't give a fuck about anybody, it gives a connotation that you're a badass and like you're like nothing can like penetrate you and like you're just closed off.
Yes, that's true.
There's like a different side to that I think you're trying to get to, where you don't give a fuck, but you
have to be vulnerable still.
Are still vulnerable and show people what you don't give a fuck about. You know, like I don't give a fuck if I'm depressed. Like I'll tell my friends so that they can help me
Yeah.
be better.
Exactly.
I don't give a fuck that I'm insecure about this, and this, you know? So I think for me, like it's the vulnerability. Being vulnerable is such a great feeling, don't you think?
Yeah.
Or do you think?
Yeah. Well, yeah, because like me being vulnerable on the podcast and in life, you and I got so much closer because
Yeah.
we understood our weaknesses and our strengths, and that's how we built our friendship off of that. Is like we understand what they're going through, their struggles, and how we can help them as a person and grow. But like if we had the mentality of like not giving a fuck but not telling each other like what our struggles are, then it's like how do we better ourselves?
Right. Yeah, you're just kind of blocking yourself off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is not good. Be vulnerable with your friends, family.
It's very hard though. For the people that never done it before, like the first time like I was vulnerable, I felt like I was gonna like crumble.
Yeah, like yeah.
You're just like I'm weak.
Yeah.
You're just showing weakness, and it's just like it's not weakness.
It's not weakness. That's actually a strength for
It's
opening up like that. That's you being strong. So
like many people cannot do that.
Yeah.
To help themselves, to help other people connect to them. Oh, it's a great feeling.
yeah.
Just, but I feel like the reason it's hard is because you spend so much time thinking about it in your own head that your mind is so worked up about it that you don't want to share this weakness out to other people because again, people are scared of other people's judgment.
Yep.
And that's where you don't have to give a fuck.
Yeah.
Don't give a fuck.
About judgment. Just you do you. Share what your struggles are with
You're
people
a badass bitch.
Exactly. Just fucking crush life and fucking be vulnerable and shit.
Yeah.
One thing that is really weird that ties it to all of this is that everyone, so you have your own perception of yourself, but everyone else also has their own view about you in their own head.
Yes, that is so interesting.
So it's like the way that you view yourself is not the way others view you.
Definitely not.
So that goes around to. So there was an article written about from a scientist saying that if you saw the exact same clone of yourself in public, you would not recognize yourself. Because the way that you see yourself in the mirror is not the way people see you in real world.
Yeah, I'm really interested to see what hear about what other people think about me.
Yeah. Just like
But that sounds really like narcissistic though. I want to know what people think about me.
What do you think about me?
Because then you do care about what other people think about you. But is that a bad thing?
No. I think just being open to their opinions about you can
to better yourself.
Or just be curious about what people think about you. I'm curious, like, what do you think about me?
Yeah. Because a lot of people, like, in the workspace and just, like, people in general, like, we are pretty out there people, but we don't become close with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people have opinions about us, so I've learned. And it's interesting when people tell me what other people think about me.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, what? Like, I did not know this.
That was me in like high school too. Like I know that I have a bad resting bitch face. Like everyone, like all my friends, like their friends told them that they were scared of me because of my face.
Yeah, remember?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not even doing anything to you guys. Like, I'm just literally standing there, and y'all are scared of me like that. Like, that's not who I am. Just like get to know me. I'm pretty friendly, I guess. So, damn, this RBF is do not approach me type shit.
Yeah, you don't look very friendly, Kevin.
I don't.
Maybe you should smile a little bit more.
I have the worst RBF, bro. Like standing in public, I just be like in line or some shit, and people would be like going away a little bit. I'm like, damn, I'm not that scary.
Like,
Like,
you just stanky, bro.
just cause I have earrings and I'm Asian and I wear like ripped jeans doesn't mean that I'm a gangster. You know what I'm saying? Like, get to know me a
You're a
little
gangster, Kevin the gangster.
bit. Jeez, bro. Like, it's again, their perception of you
Yeah.
is not who you are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's a life lesson. People's perception of you is not who you are. So don't give into that view of you. Cause
Yeah, that also leads into judgment as well.
yeah.
Because when I go or when I hear people talk about judging other people, or when I hear somebody say, "Yo, why is she doing that?" Like, I feel like I've experienced this so much firsthand that I now understand not to judge other people because I do not know what they're going through.
Yep.
Like, yes, let's tie it back to a story of when I was a bitch to my sister. I was a mean older brother. We're like 7 years apart, and I always like freaked out when like she would like ask me questions or just like this was like freshman year, and I was insecure myself, so I was like, yo, why are you always asking me questions? Go in your room, like leave me alone. But like at that point in my life, I didn't know better. You know, I didn't know better. And so looking back now, it's very easy to say, yo, why is that guy always yelling at his little like younger sister?
Yeah.
Like, he's such a fucking little piece of shit, you know?
Yeah.
But now it's like I didn't know what to do with my emotions, and so I just took it out on her. Yes, there were other things going on in the family and bad stuff, but I didn't know how to deal with it, so I took it out on her. And so I wasn't happy that I was taking it out on her either. You know, it wasn't like, like I would usually go and apologize to her afterwards, but when you see somebody and you say some bad shit about them, just remember that in that moment they are probably doing the best that they can, you know?
Yeah.
Whether it's like just be a fucking decent human being. When you see someone being a bitch to a waitress or a waiter, like who raised him? They probably didn't have fucking parents, you know? Or maybe their parents abused them. Like, who knows?
Yeah.
You know, it all comes from somewhere. And so
Yep.
I think we just have to be mindful sometimes. And like we said earlier, everyone's on their own journey, and it just takes people different amounts of time to get there.
Yeah.
Whew.
It's facts.
Whew.
That's deep.
But it's very hard. It's very hard to not judge people
Yeah.
because we are always so quick to judge, you know?
Because we're human.
I do it. I do it.
Yeah.
You do it. Like,
yeah.
just the other day, I was judging you for, hey, why aren't you taking that position?
Yeah.
Do you want to explain to them the position you got or no?
Sure. So I was offered a job at a competitor of mine or a friend of mine, MediaCore, to work for them. But I promised myself to. It's been my dream to always own a business and be my own boss and just being proud that I developed something from ground up. So if you don't know, I own and operate a video production company in town for about a year now. And if I had joined their team or if I quit on my own dream, that's just me letting myself down because, like I said, it's always been a dream of mine to really operate a business and make money off of it and living a life that I dreamt of because I know that I can do it. It's just a hustle, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that was why I declined their offer and said I'd love to, but I'm working on myself. So yeah.
And man, I talked to Josh because we're in the same office, and he explained to me the situation and how Kevin could be making more money, and I was like, yeah, that makes total sense. Like, he could just work for you for like 5-6 years, and then he would still be young as fuck, 24. I mean, he could just with all that experience and knowledge and credibility, he could then go and start his own business, easy peasy. But that was in like, that's the idea I had in my head, not the idea I had like that Kevin had. And as a friend, I tried to approach Kevin and be like, like, did you reconsider this offer? And then you were just like, no.
I was just like, no.
And then I was like, why? And so I went home and I gave you the vibe of like, why aren't you like, what like, why? You're dumb not to. And then I went home, I thought about it a little bit, and I was like, I think I listened to a podcast. I don't know where it came from, but it's probably the Hey Bitch podcast. And they were talking about supporting each other. And I had to look at you as a friend and not what my best interests were, because I know that you're going, like, whatever emotions you have, they're valid. And as a friend, I want to support you in whatever makes you happy, so that you can be happy, you know? So it wasn't in my place to judge you and say, yo, what, like, why aren't you taking that? Because we think differently.
Yeah.
And so,
yeah, I think my whole mindset about that is that, like I said, it's my dream, but really, if I had joined their team and worked for them, it's me letting myself down, because, like I said, it's a challenge for me to really take a risk in life and not go to college, and you just hop into the workforce just like that and just be an entrepreneur and really develop connections. But that's the journey that I'm willing to take, because I know in the end that it'll pay off, and through hustle and through opportunities and networking, that all of this that I've been trying to do and what I'm doing right now will pay off in the end. So, yeah, it's my thought about that. Just in the end, all my hustle and my goals and aspirations will become a reality. So
yeah. And I mean, I've seen your work ethic, so I know that you can do it. It's just, as a friend and a family member, I'm always trying to like look out for you in the ways that how can you get there faster, you know? And so, I gave a little bit too much of my own opinion without listening to you.
yeah,
Yeah. So sorry about that.
you're good.
But now I understand.
Yeah, goals and aspirations, everything comes from a beginning. So there are no shortcuts in life. You obviously have to build it from somewhere. So
Right.
however long it takes, or however long
it's different for everybody.
Yeah.
And like it's just so hard to, like, going back to the judgment thing, going back to everything. It's so hard to predict and like give one piece of advice to everybody, because everyone's at different stages.
Yeah.
And everyone thinks differently.
Yeah.
And so, man, it's very hard to give advice without like knowing their situation,
Yep.
you know?
Exactly. So everything that we said today was just general advice. Like, we don't know what you're going through or what's happening at home. Like, just take it
Right.
and just run with it and put
Yeah.
your own spin to it. So
And like I would love to talk to you if you do have shit you want to talk about, or you feel like you don't have friends that are treating you right, and like you want someone to talk through your shit to. Like, I'm always here, and we always have, like, I always have time to sit down even. So one of the perks of
being an entrepreneur.
being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Not all the time though.
No, yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes we get busy.
A little stressful, yeah. Yeah, but other than that, I think we can wrap it up.
Yeah.
As always, if you enjoyed this episode, please like and follow, subscribe on YouTube even if you want to. You can reach us at on Instagram at KevinQ_Tran or Johnny_Q_Tran to be on the podcast. Ask about the podcast in our DMs. We'll schedule a time for you. But other than that, hope you enjoy this episode. Have a good day or night whenever you're watching this, and look forward to seeing you next Friday.
Thank you so much for listening and watching.